Hi, everybody. We want to welcome you back to 4002 and You, as we're going to share this month in October for specifically breast cancer awareness. We've got Link by Pink and Heather Smith joining us here. Hi, Heather.
Hi, how are you?
Good. And Kate from our office here. And kind of to get this kicked off here, Kate, you just shared on your Facebook timeline, you said what popped up?
A video from last year's Linked by Pink, 4002 and You.
That's pretty cool. If you could share, like we were talking about before we got started here, the strength that I've seen in you and other women who have battled things, cancer, breast cancer, and so forth. The strength that you possess is amazing to me, quite honestly. And a lot of times people would not know what you're going through, but you've been affected by cancer, and Link by Pink is a group that you are a part of.
Sure. Yep.
Just tell us real quick, I guess, briefly, what are some of the things that you got that helped you in the process of your time, battling?
My second diagnosis is when I was introduced to Linked by Pink. I knew one of the board members, and he came to me and offered to take me to a meeting. And he took me to the first one. It was at Calamari's, and I met a group of women that were going through the same thing that I was going through. And I felt that I was so young and nobody else understood. And I found a support group, and it all worked out.
That's cool. And Heather, so you are the co-founder you were sharing with us, right?
Yes, and I'm the founder. Yep.
Or the founder, sorry. So how did that come about? And when was it started?
Well, I am a two-time breast cancer survivor. So I was first diagnosed at 28. It was not on my radar. I was a single mom of two kids. I was working part-time. I was in school full-time, and I had just happened to find a lump, and I thought, okay, at 28, I never heard of somebody at that time being diagnosed. And I thought, I don't have time to make a doctor's appointment and be told, oh, it's nothing. So I waited probably about a month, seeing the doctor, was actually diagnosed with my first bout on April 1st of 2003. And I kept thinking, is this an April Fool's joke? It's gotta be, but it wasn't. And I just kind of barreled through, didn't really reach out to anyone, just went through my chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation. And probably about 3.5 years after that, 4.5 years, I had a reoccurrence. So I was really set back. I was worried about my kids, what was going to happen, and became very depressed because I didn't know what the future held. And so I kind of thought, well, I need to do something. I kind of felt like I was diagnosed for a reason, and I wanted to do something with it. And my husband now had kind of encouraged me to reach out to other women, because when I would go to treatment, there would be, our older counterparts, women who their children were grown. They weren't as worried about dating, having more children, things like that. So there was that little bit of disconnect or just differences. So the RCC at the time, the Cancer Center, featured me in one of their articles, just calling for other young women. And that's where we had met, I think it was 9 women. And one of them was Norma Zimmer, who we eventually just started doing fundraisers and realizing that these wonderful organizations like the American Cancer Society and Susan G. Komen and all these great organizations, we could have used that money to help local women. And it just kind of spiraled from there. And that was started in 2008. And we've been going since.
That's great. I mean, from out of a bad thing, such a good thing has come. That's, I guess, the perseverance of humans when we do the right things,
Yeah.
That's good. What is something that makes it different? I think you touched on that there, that makes Link by Pink different.
Well, overall, it's different because we are local. We assist local women within a 45-mile radius of Erie. And the funds that we raise usually get raised locally, but then all that money stays. So it could be a neighbor, it could be a friend, it could be somebody down the street that you don't know, but the funds stay locally through all the various programs that we have.
Okay. Any particular upcoming, I guess, fundraisers or things that that you guys do maybe on an annual basis, or things that we can put out there as a get on people's radar, of maybe how to support to help make a difference?
Actually, I don't know how quickly this goes out, but this weekend, there is at Erie Fitness Academy, they are hosting, and they've done this for a few years.
Dawn of Deadlift.
Dawn of the Deadlift. It is so inspiring because we have 3 of the Link by Pink members that participate, and they rate, like, people kind of give them, they say for every $1 or for every pound you're going to lift, we'll give $1. And so they do various things like that. And then when you go there, they're all in their Halloween decked out gear, and the gym is just, it's like a small family to watch them. It's incredible. And we had a girl that was actually going through her cancer treatment last year, and her story's up on our Facebook page. And so this year she's actually able to really participate, and looking forward to it. But they have done it for a couple of years, and last year I believe it was close to around $10,000 that they raised. So every year they raise a little bit more. So it's a great event to go out to.
That is great. That's a lot of weight.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it's amazing.
What kind of things, does the organization do, or maybe what kind of programs are offered or things like that, so we can share that with, as this goes out on the social media to hopefully reach somebody who maybe hasn't heard of it, or, it's that kind of thing where hopefully it pops up at the right time when somebody will need that kind of thing. That's why I've looked at these 4002 and you messages when they go out, that hopefully it'll hit somebody at the right, the right moment.
Yes, absolutely. One of our biggest programs that we have is our medical grants. Women can apply for them. And one of the differences with Link by Pink is we do focus on women that are diagnosed 45 and under. But we have medical grants that are available to women that are initially diagnosed at age 50 and under. And they can receive up to $1,000 towards their medical expenses, $800 towards their living expenses, and up to $200 in travel. So like a gas card. So that's one of our biggest ones. And we have been able to give out since 2008 over $350,000 to just local women just in that program. So, which I think is beyond amazing. Wow. But we also have, we do offer a monthly get together where we just kind of get together up at NovaCare at the first Wednesday of each month. It's very relaxed, just kind of sharing what we're going through. And a lot of times you wonder, if I'm feeling this, is it normal, or is this something, or people who's just diagnosed and they have no idea what to expect from, their surgeries, or tips and tricks, I guess, that are given from some of the women that are there. We also do college scholarships to graduating seniors, usually in the springtime, and they have to write an essay. And then we also do a goodie bag, or a newly diagnosed bag, to women of any age. If we hear, or if somebody refers them to us, we can drop off a bag to those that are newly diagnosed. I'm trying to think of what other programs we have. The biggest one is the medical grants, though, because there's nothing that makes them have to come to a meeting. They can receive it without ever meeting us or anything. So there's no ties that have to be made to it. So they can just apply, and the application is right on our website, or they can reach out to us or their oncology staff at their hospitals.
That's great to have connections to get it. It sounds like to the people that need it, from the point of, like you said, just from like the oncologists and such. That being the case, that there's these different ways to tie people in, but if somebody's hearing it for the first time here, where can we direct them, to get in touch with you guys? What's the most effective way for communication with you?
They can either email us at info@linkbypink, or even right on our Facebook. We have a public Facebook page that we're always putting stuff up on. We announced our meetings on there as well, and they can private message us through that as well. They can call. We have numerous ways, and so there's various ways to reach out to us, and a lot of times it's through the Facebook messages or emails or someone hearing of someone diagnosed. So
is there any particular story or anything to help somebody or encourage them to to reach out to you guys, or a way, maybe an example story of somebody who you can think of that's been touched?
There's so many,
right?
So many. So, yeah, there's so many, and I just want to, I guess, kind of just focus to let people know that they're not alone. A lot of times you feel that way when you're diagnosed, and there's so many times that after meetings, people come up and say, it was amazing to listen to all these different stories and how I can relate to it. And their support systems are there, and they know that, but it's different to hear those stories of people, like I said, that walked in those shoes. So I just think, to let them know they're not alone. And we, as Linked by Pink, we try to be there, not just for the patient. We also try to be there for the entire family. And, we have people from stage 0 to stage 4, and whoops, sorry. Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
And there has, unfortunately been those times where, the women didn't make it through their diagnosis. And when that happens, Norma and I have actually been bedside when, someone had passed away, which was just devastating and hard. But I know she would have done that for us. And then afterwards, we try to send the family a gift. So once things do calm down a little bit, they can, the husband or spouse or family members that have, the children, they can take them and do something fun and let them kind of have a little bit of ease for a day, whether it be Splash Lagoon or somewhere like that. But we focus on the whole family, not just the patient.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a caregivers group as well. So, which I think is great. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Things affect multiple people, when it's a family's involved, and we need those people for support. So that's come up in a few other, donations over the past couple of years here. And it just reminds you of, having that connection. And actually, Kate, you mentioned that about going through treatments here with the pandemic just compounded the problem. And you kind of touched on the Facebook group being a little bit of giving that lend of support when you really couldn't get together with some people.
I have a good story from Linked by Pink. When I was going through treatment and during the pandemic, and how I was isolated and didn't really want to talk to anybody, one of my friends that I met through Linked by Pink started, she asked one of her other groups to send me cards. And for 2 weeks, I was getting 5-10 cards a day from people I didn't know with words of encouragement. So that was, you meet people through this group and you never know how really they're going to affect your life. And I'm sure she didn't know at the time how much I really needed it.
That's awesome. I hadn't heard that story.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, Heather and Kate, thank you both for your time and sharing, because it's going to touch somebody, and it's going to remind somebody here, and to get the word out again about this. Awesome. Heather, thank you so much. Thank you for getting this started from that standpoint of how you're helping, and for Kate for sharing, and thank you both. Well, for 4002 and you, I guess we'll sign off here. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you. Have a good night.